Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Mohammad Badruddin, and as you all know, that I'm covering a series of Web Security Academy from Portswigger, and today I'm gonna pick another module that is Authentication module, and I'm gonna solve the first lab of that module. But before going to that, this warning, as always. This video and its content are only for educational purpose and I do not support any unethical or illegal act. That's been said, let's go to the Web Security Academy page, and the module is, this is server side topic, and the module is authentication vulnerabilities. So before starting the lab, I'm just gonna give you the brief introduction about authentication, how it works, and the conceptual things. So, first of all, authentication. Well, this is going to be very interesting because in daily life we pass many authentication process in general, and the question is, what is authentication? So, authentication is a process of proving or verifying your identity, and in other words, we can say uh, it's a process of claiming your identity that uh, you are the same person for what you are claiming. Okay, so now why authentication is so important in our life, also in cyber world where information is everything. So let's take an example. Suppose you build a home for you, and a question is, why would you put a lock on the front door? This is a kind of silly question, right? But of course, we must put a lock because we want to control access in and out of the home, right? So if you lock the door, sit inside, and someone knocks the door, the first question arises, who is there? So if person knocking the door claims his identity and you identify that person, you will open the door, right? So the authentication process is there. But if he is trying to verifying his identity, but you do not recognize him, so at that instant, that is a threat, you can say. Okay, because he's trying to verify his identity again and again, and you cannot recognize that guy or that person. So this is threat. And if someone get into your house from window or from back door or bypassing the lock that you put on the front door, that is known as breach, the security breach. Okay, and intruder, you can say. So this is all about the authentication. There is a lot of material you can, of course, read, learn, understand. These are the concepts. And about this picture, you will know in a second. So what is authentication? You can come and read all these things. What is the difference between authentication and authorization? So authentication is a process where you verify or claim your identity, and authorization is a process where uh, the system will check whether uh, you are you have privileges to access that particular resource for what you are claiming to access, right? So a lot of things, how do authentication vulnerabilities arise and what kind of impacts are there, authentication mechanism, uh, a lot of things. So you go and you can read all these things, fine, but this is very simple to understand actually. So without wasting time, let's go to the lab and let's see what we have in the lab. So we go here, there is a same application for what on which we were working before. Okay, and here we have this. So Username enumeration via different responses. Okay, that's good. Uh, this lab is vulnerable to username enumeration and password brute force attacks. It has an account with a predictable user and password which can be found in the following word list. So basically, this lab already gave us two word list. One is username word list and the other one is password word list. Okay, so if you go here, this is the lab, username enumeration by different responses. I already solved this lab. Just want to show you that with this lab there are two list, username and password. So uh, we can go and download or copy these word list so that we can enumerate the user. So these are the usernames. Among all these, there may be one or two username or maybe more usernames are valid. So we must enumerate the application authentication process with these usernames. And once we got the username, we will brute force for the password. Okay, so this will be the password. So I'm just going to get this username list. So copy and with this, open new, paste it here. Okay, so uh, these are not the usernames. Even if you have this, no problem. Up to track, yes. So we will save this as username in the desktop folder. Users.txt, just as simple as that. Okay, and the other one we will see is gonna be the password list. So open one more, leave this, we need the passwords. So come on, like this maybe, yeah. So copy this and paste here. Okay, so these are the passwords and we can save this as passwords.txt, right? Now let's go to the lab. As this lab is very simple, you know what to do. So as well as the name is concerned, authentication. So we will go and check the authentication process of the application. I already opened up my bug suite and I turn off the intercept. So I will silently capture all the requests here and we will analyze later. Okay, so I'm gonna start up my bug suite. Okay, now let's try. Just put admin and the password is 123456. So as you can see, invalid user. Okay, it means once you go for this challenge for the authentication process, it will first check whether the username is there in the database or not. If the username is there, then it will go and check the password. So I love this kind of authentication because this kind of authentication are open up for the enumeration. You can uh, use the enumeration technique easily to check whether the user, which user is there. Okay, So we already have the users word list. This we will use this word list and we will check one of uh, these user must be there. Okay, so for this I already capture this request in my bub suite. This is the post request. I go there and just go to the repeater, send this request to the repeater and send it again. So the message we got once we authenticate ourselves, that the invalid user, right? So what we will do, we will take one of these user, and we put in this field with any password like 123456, and we will see the response what we got, like invalid user or user is there or not. So if we do not get invalid user and we got invalid password, it means that user present in the database, right? So what we will do, just send this request to the intruder, and you can send this request to intruder from here directly. Okay, so go to the intruder, go to the position, and as you can see these are the positions for the attack, but we don't need all these things, so just clear all of this and choose whatever you need to enumerate, right? So here we will enumerate first the username, so just highlight the username and add this, so you will get this these kind of marks. Okay, and the attack type is sniper, so leave it like that. Go to the payload, and in the payload what I will do, the payload will be like I will paste all these usernames, copy and paste it here, right? So all these usernames are there. So what it will do, it will pick one username and put it in the username field, and the password would be same 123456, and it will check whether invalid username error is there or not, right? So okay, then go to the resource pool, it's okay, and options. So and we get this, start the attack, right? Okay, because we are using community edition. So what it is doing, if we go and see the request and responses, this is the request. So first it takes the username Carlos, put it in the username and leave the password 123456 because we choose just the username field. Okay, and it checks whether invalid username is there or not. So invalid username is there. Fine, so it means this is not the correct user. Then it will go to root and it will do the same thing. Instead of Carlos, now it will put the username as root, and password it will leave same like 123456. Go to the response and it will check whether uh, invalid username is there or not. So we can copy this and paste it in the search, so you will know. You can see one match is there. Okay, you can see here one match, it means invalid username is there. Also, how you will know whether this invalid username, because hundreds of usernames are there, so you will not go and check every request every time, right? It will take a lot of time. So what you can do, uh, for all the status is 200, but if invalid username is not there, so it will change the length of the message of the response. Okay, so all the response length you can see 3102. So once the user, which is valid user, make a request, you will see the length will be different from this, right? So let's wait and see what we got. uh, Okay, okay. Up to now, we didn't find the correct user. And if you have the professional version of Burp Suite, this process is going to be very fast. But right now, we don't need the professional version. So I'm going to pause the video, and once it complete the process, I will come back. So I got one username which length is a bit different, and if we click on this, you can see invalid username, 0 matches, means there is no invalid username. It means this username is present in the database and this user can log in, right? And you can see it says incorrect password, not the invalid username, right? So it means this user can log in. Fine. And one more thing I want to show you about this length, why it is 3102 and why this length is 3104. So I go any of this 3102 and I just copy all this and paste in a file, new, paste, and save this as response.txt. Okay, and go to my command prompt, and I just want to say cat response.txt and pass it to wc space -c. So it means 3102 characters are there in the file. Okay, if we take this response 3104 and copy all these and paste it here, save, and if we go back to the command prompt and we do, because we save that response in the same file. Okay, so again if we go, you can see how many characters are there, 3104, because if you can see here, if I do echo invalid username and if I say -c, how many characters are there, 17. And if I do the same thing with, because when the username is present, it's showing another error, and that error is incorrect password, right? So 19. In this error, how many characters? 17. And in this error, 19 characters are there. So there is a difference of 2 characters which we show in the length. I hope you understand this. So that's why here the length is different. Now we know which user can log in. So uh, just go to the this, and in the analysis on the enumeration part we find username is, what was that, Arlington. Arlington, this is the username, right? So we got the username. Now it's time to brute force the for the password, right? So if we go here and put here Arlington and the password is 123456, so you can see incorrect password, means the username is correct but the password is incorrect. Now this time what we need to do, this time we will brute force the password and in the with the same process, right? So we already have this request in our repeater and we already sent this request to the intruder. Okay, no, we cancel this. So again we send this request to the intruder, go to the intruder, come on the position. We don't need all of these, so we just clear this, and this time we put the username as Arlington and the password we need to brute force this. So I will add the string to the position and the payload will be, this time the payload will be the passwords. So we copy all these passwords and paste it here. Okay, so the same process, it will take the username as Erlington, but it will change the password every time. So it will take 1 2 3 4 5 6, then it will take this, then this. So go to the payload. Okay, we already added this, and resource pool. Okay, option. Okay, let's start the attack. Okay, okay. So what it will do this time, when the attack is successful, maybe the status code gets changed, because after successful authentication, it will redirect your page to another page, right? So once you get the right password, the status code of the request of the will change of the for the response. Okay, so I am gonna again pause the video and let it complete and see what we got. And this time, if you can see here, all the length of the response is 3104, because in all the responses username is correct, so that's why it's not saying invalid username, it's giving you the error incorrect password, right? So I'm just going to pause the video and come back when it's finished. Welcome back. So as you can see, we got the password and the status code is 302. 302 means redirect. So as you can see the response also, this time we don't get uh, much things in the response, just redirect. So it's redirecting our page to the account page for the user, right? So we got the password also. So this yen keys is the password for Erlington user. So what we can do now, we can just go and log in. Before log in, just I wanna paste it here. So the password is Yankees. Uh, okay, go to the lab. Username is Lincoln and the password is Yankees. Fine. And it's what was that? Let me check the spelling once. Yankees. Yeah, it's right. Arlington and Yankees. So let me close the bug suite and we solve the lab. So uh, this is Arlington user. So this is the vulnerability in this web application where you can enumerate the user and then you can brute force the password for that user once you get the username, right? So thank you very much for watching this video, and in the next part I will build a custom exploit by Python to automate the whole process for getting the username and password. And this is going to be very interesting because with that script you can go and check any vulnerable web application which is vulnerable to same kind of vulnerability, like user enumeration vulnerability for the authentication, right? So thank you very much. See you.